I'll be right back, guys. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, you can't hear me.
Morning.
Good. Jack, thank you for responding. You can hear me a little better now, everyone. How are we doing, guys?
Good. It's just hot in my dorm.
I'm sorry?
Good. It's just hot in the dorms right now.
I hear you.
Good.
Good, good. And thank you for responding, guys. We'll try to make it as real as possible. Okay. We're going to have a regular class, a couple of important things. Okay. I know we are recording it, so I'm going to show you a little bit. Okay. So our study guide is here. It's an evolving document. I'm going to add the sections. As I told you, I'm going to cut off some of the problems, just a few of the easy ones. So don't think I'm going to cut off everything. We're going to give you every section. I'm going to help you focus a little more on some of the harder problems. So this document that you're seeing on the left-hand side is going to change, but I'm not going to remove the important things that I have here. I'm going to go over it in front of you. Okay. So if you want to know when the exam is, of course, it says June 28th. 22nd, it shouldn't come as a surprise because it's right here. If you go to the course outline and scroll down, there is a calendar. Exam 2 is, exam 1 is on June 22nd, and that's when it will take place, which is a Wednesday, which is next week, Wednesday. We don't meet here on Monday. It's a holiday, so don't come here and wait. We won't be here. Okay, I won't record lecture. It's a day off. All right. So on Tuesday, we're going to have a regular class today. On Tuesday, we're going to have a regular class. If you want me to set aside 20 minutes, 30 minutes to take your questions, that's fine. I'll be happy to do it, but it'll be done on Tuesday. So the exam, we have basically 2 lectures before the exam. Lecture today is the 16th, and another lecture on Tuesday. Once again, I know I'm repeating, on June 20th, we're not meeting here. Don't come here and wait and then email me. So keep that in mind. It's all here. And if you forget where it is, I showed you it's in the course outline folder. All right, what am I trying to say here? Let's read it. Exam 1 is on Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. It will be an online exam available on BlazeView right here. I'll show you how to get there. It's not there yet, but that's not that important. I'll work on it over the weekend. It's really here, but you won't be able to see it. The exam will be available for 24 hours. So it will start at 8 a.m. on the date shown above, which is June 22nd. And I will let it run till June 23rd, 8 a.m. Now, those of you, if you want to tell me right now that I want to take it at 6 a.m. on the 22nd, I can make it 6 a.m., but it will only run, it will be available for 24 hours. On the date shown above, we will not be meeting online. So you don't come here. The 1.5 hours that you spend with me is assigned to the exam. That's how we would do it if you were to come to campus. Okay, so nothing new, but do understand that. Don't take, go ahead.
It opens up on June 22nd and stays open till the 23rd.
Correct. That's really what I'm trying to say. I can make those adjustments a little bit. I don't mind. It does say the way I'm writing it, and that's why I wanted to go over with you guys so that we have a clear understanding. The exam will be available for 24 hours, starting at 8 a.m. on the date shown above. So basically 8 a.m. June 22nd. If you want me to write 7 there, that's fine. I'll do it. If you say I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock and take it, I'll do it. But make sure it's on June 22nd. Most of it is on June 22nd. And since I said I'll give you 1 day, in my course outline, 1 day to me means 24 hours. So whenever you guys want to start on June 22nd, If you say, no, let's just start at 9:30, that's when we meet, I'll do it. But that's why we are talking about it. But if you do, it really is not an issue, shouldn't be an issue. So that's why we are discussing. I'm that much flexible. You say, why don't you give us from 9:30 till 9:30 the next day? Fine, I'll be happy to do it. But the exam will be available during the daytime on June 22nd. Why? Because it's in my course outline. People have made arrangements, you're supposed to be here to take the exam and to come to the lecture. It's synchronous, means you're supposed to come to class. So that's that. Again, if you don't understand, ask, and I appreciate the people who ask questions always. On the date shown above, we will not be meeting. I'm repeating it. Once you start your exam, you will get 90 minutes to take it. And that's all. Nothing will be graded. I have seen, now again, guys, I'm not trying to insult you guys or anything. I've seen all sorts of things. I've seen students who would write the first question. And the beauty is, guys, that write the first question at 9:30, then come back at noon, do the second one. I won't grade anything past 90. Everything is recorded. Okay. So I would know when you turn in. So everything is recorded. Computer is good and bad. So I will just grade. I will physically grade, and I'm going to go over it too. I will physically grade your questions, and you will see what my answer is eventually, not the day you take the exam. You will see I'm giving you a little more detail because these I will receive a lot of email. Again, I will grade it manually. I will only grade your work that was done in the first 90 minutes. Okay. All right, don't go past 90 minutes, close the exam, move on. I will not be, I didn't spell B right. Let me fix that. And I will go over a couple of other things that people, let me see if I can edit it. I was working on it right before our class started, but I will spell it properly. I'll not be able to give any kind of extensions. I'm already making a lot of concessions, okay? Why? If you were to come to class, you would be just coming to class at 9:30. I'll give you an hour and a half. Okay. I already am done with the exam. As discussed, it really shouldn't take you more than 35, 40 minutes, really. And why do we have a little extra time? It's because of computer issues. You may have to, move somewhere, your brother may be talking, all those things. So I'm giving you a little concession. Now, I was thinking about giving 25 questions for 90 minutes. If you want even more than that, I'll be happy to do that. Is that something we can tolerate, guys? Even with 25 questions, I don't think people who are studying will need any more than 35, 45 minutes. So I'll give you about 25 questions. And it will be cumulative, but cumulative doesn't mean anything. Before exam 1, before exam 2, I will write it. So that's roughly what it is. Now, there is something more going on, and I would like to share it with you. So bear with me. Before we jump to the next topic, which is related to the exam, can I take some questions? Or even clarification? Or what do you really mean when you say that? It's all here. Of course, if I find a typo, I'm going to change it. I'm not going to get up tomorrow and just change June 22nd to June 30. That's not happening. But if I catch something, you're going to get 24 hours. Most of the 24 hours will be on June 22nd. And when you start the exam, you better wrap up within an hour and a half, even though the exam shouldn't take you more than 40, 45 minutes. Having said that, having repeated myself like 3 times, I'll take some questions, guys.
Okay, so just double checking with you. Exam 1 will be done on BlazeView. It opens up at 8 in the morning.
8 a.m. on June 22nd. Yeah, a little before you show up to my
And
class.
then it closes at 8 a.m. June 23rd.
Correct.
Okay, cool. All right.
Right. So you have plenty of time. Okay. If you can't take it in the morning, for whatever reason, you have evening. Okay. And one more thing, again, I'm repeating myself. We don't come here on June 22nd. That's exam day. All right. Now let's talk about the exam. Once again, it will be available on BlazeView. I made a little, it's not a mock exam. It's a sample exam. And there are tons of questions all over the place. We have done many. So some of you are wondering, I know you see more than what you should see. one more thing. Here is my exam one that you won't be able to see. Don't worry. That's not an issue. Why am I showing you this? I am going to click the sample exam. You actually can take it now. It's nothing. It's very easy. I'm going to actually show you the exam. I'm going to show you how you can enter things nicely. So you'll get a feel for what the exam will look like. Okay. It's not a real exam. The questions that I have here are not the ones you will see, but they're kind of similar. I made it in the morning. So let's click it. Again, the version that you're going to see is, of course, a little bit from my version, but I'm going to do a little, what do they say? I think they call it preview. I'm going to do a little preview. It's roughly what you will get. Again, you're a student, your perspective will be, your environment will look a little different, but it's very close. So you're going to see, I only have 3 problems. Okay. So perform this. So I'm asking you to multiply this and you're going to enter your answer here. Okay. So let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. And I'm going to just physically do it. Like I'm a student, I'm taking the exam. So I'm going to take this guy and copy it. And again, you don't have to, you're going to probably use a piece of paper. I would recommend that, but you decide what you want to do. Remember, we have done a problem like this. Basically, and if you haven't, we have, you multiply and you're going to get x squared. And then this will be minus x squared. Foil, we're just foiling. And this will also be minus x squared. And then it'll be minus 1 times 1 is plus. So the answer should be like this. I'm going to put a little 2 here. So the answer is x to the 4, 2x squared plus 1. How are you going to enter it? Well, again, we are being recorded. So make sure you do understand. You're going to go here, this plus sign, and you're going to go to equation, and you're going to click equation. Sorry, you're going to go to equation, you're going to click graphical equation, and you're going to say, okay, the answer is, and hopefully you'll have it on a piece of paper. It's hard to go back and forth between windows. You're going to mess up. You're going to click this. You're going to write 4. And then I think it was minus 2x squared. I think it was plus 1. That's going to be your answer. Yes, you have to write it properly. Okay, that's what it will look like. Again, you're going to use, this is, firstly, this is being recorded and you can physically take that little three problem quiz yourself just to see what it feels like. It'll be there. You're going to click this plus sign and you're going to go to equation. Then you're going to select graphical equation. It will create a nice window. Most of the things we will use are going to be this one, are going to be this one, this one, some of these here. I don't think we'll see a lot of pi, but pi is here. Remember, phi, the empty set is here. Remember, union and intersection, they're here. There's a bunch of things here. If I use something that's not right here, I'll show you, but I don't think we'll go beyond what I just showed you. So once again, out of this. So this one, let's do this one. And it's consider this a little review from last class. Rationalize the denominator. I'm going to take this. I don't need this anymore. Remember, guys, to rationalize the denominator, we multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of the bottom. Conjugate of the bottom, sorry. Conjugate of the bottom is this. And you do multiply both top and bottom by the conjugate of the bottom. The bottom stays here and the conjugate stays right next to it. Okay, now this guy is 4 times, I'm going to leave it alone because I kind of know the answer, guys. I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, now if you carefully FOIL this, okay, first term, last term, the middle term, trust me, you're going to get 7 minus 3, which turns out to be 4. So I'm going to cancel this and this. So the answer is square root of 7 minus square root of 3. Let's see if that's one of the answers. Square root of 7 minus square root of 3. All right. Now, of course, these are a little too easy. Is the following expression a polynomial? I would say yes. And then you're going to say, submit your quiz. Done. You're done. A couple of other things. Here it's saying that I only got 33%. Okay, don't panic. Okay, that doesn't mean I failed. And again, I get so many emails. The computer is very smart, but it still can't see everything. I have to go physically look at the answers. If I wrote my answer yes with a small y and you wrote yes with a capital Y, the computer will not give you credit. Okay, so I will go physically check it. After I check it, I will open the exam. By open, I mean exam. You will be able to see your exam, my answers. If you see that you wrote x squared and I didn't give you a point, you can email me. Could you all you have to do is email me. Of course, you will tell me your name and you can tell me that my number 5, could you look at my number 5 again? I think I got the right answer. That's good enough. I'll go back and check. And if you wrote this, it won't happen. But if it happens, let's say my answer is half and you wrote 0.5. Of course, you'll get credit. Let's say I didn't give you credit. Okay. You tell me, I think my number 5 is right. You can say, could you double check my number 5? I will check and finish. Don't look at that number that you got 33 and panic. Okay. And do take this exam. I'm going to say done. So I'm done. Let's see if we have any questions, guys. Let's pause here a little bit. See if we have any questions. Any questions about what the exam may look like in terms of physical environment? Any questions about the study guide?
The study guide is going to have questions like from P1, P2, P3, and P4, right?
Yes. And it actually, since we have 2 lectures, I looked at the material. I think we should be able to wrap up P5 and P6. We shouldn't have any trouble.
Okay.
So basically, if you
so,
finish, that's an important point you're making. I'm going to make that. Go ahead.
So being that we're going to get to probably P6, does that mean there's going to be an even spread of each section's questions in our exam?
It won't be an even spread, but I think if I list study P1 this through this, just a slightly shorter set, then P2 study this through this, it'll be close to even, but the later section could weigh a little more because the problems are getting more interesting, a little more challenging. I'm not going to give you a bunch of easy stuff we did in P1, but remember we did sets, intersection, union, and they are easy, but they are something you are expected to know. I will give you. So the quick answer and short answer is I can't guarantee it'll be really even. I can tell you how I make the exam. I go through my notes. I look at the ones I have done. I say, yeah, that's a good one. We have done it. It's hard enough, and I will put it. And so I'll give you, basically, if you study this homework problem, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. Now, you don't know about P5, P6. It may sound like scary, but there's nothing going on. We'll do it. Probably we'll start P5 today. So basically, wherever we stop on Tuesday will be our cutoff point. And I looked at P5, P6. They're really not that difficult. Really, some of you will like it. I actually am not a huge fan of P1, P2. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to give you those problems, those fraction powers. They're easy to mess up. I mess up. So I'm not saying I won't give you. So that hopefully that answers your question, Jack.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, wonderful. Who else has other questions or similar questions? Anyone else? All right, guys. Again, if questions come up, we'll be here Tuesday. Just ask. And I looked at the video And if I'm not mistaken, let's work on P4. Let me see. I think I'm gonna open my notes and you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So a couple of tips. Make sure you have a nice piece of paper, calculator. You can have your notes out, not a problem. Do your work, enter your work very nicely before you submit. Make sure you entered right. You know, you're not, you know, two things. Okay. Your things should be entered properly. Okay. If you're using sets, you want to put braces, want to put commas very nicely. I in the set. Well, let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, it's relevant. So I put a couple of set problems. Okay, let's say I ask you to find this. Oh, let's open a new. Let's say, and I made some of those questions in the morning, so it's still fresh in my memory. Okay, this is not exactly what I put. Let's say I said find the union. Now, to me, there's nothing going on for a college level group of people. So you would say 2, 3, 4. Now, you're not, if you don't put braces, if you don't put commas, I won't give you points. If you just write 2, 3, 4, and it will say on top of the question, write it, enter it properly. So to me, one of the things that we expect you to learn is how to do the math and then how to present things properly. Just like your English teacher will get upset if you say, I like math. She will tell you I should be capitalized. Same thing. Okay, so keep that in mind. She will say, nope, don't do that. Write it properly. So same point. So again, I will say it when it comes to sets. I expect you to write properly. If you run into an empty set, the answer is empty and you write it like this, you're good. You write it like this, you're good. I'll give you full credit. You write 0, I won't give you any credit. 0 is not the empty set. I know what you mean, but you have to write it properly. If you write it like no credit, okay? If you write it like this, and I see these things every semester, unfortunately. You write it like this, I know exactly what you mean, but no credit. This actually means a set containing the Greek letter phi, which has one element. So you have to learn how to write properly. So any question about sets? Now, most of the time, most of the things you will be doing on exam 1 is x squared plus 4x divided by 2. You should be able to do it on BlazView without a lot of problem. If you write something right, and I am not saying it, you can always say it's right, and it probably will be. If my best example is if you write this, and I don't give you a point because I'm saying this is my answer, of course, that's not going to happen. That's an accident. Both are correct. There's nothing wrong with either one. So if you write like this, and you didn't get point because my answer shows this, you just come and tell me, I will fix it. All right, let's see if we have any other questions from our students. We did a lot of talking, and that is important, okay? I can come here and lecture all day, all night. I can just come here and record a long lecture, but you really want to understand. Go ahead, Jack. I'm listening.
Just a quick question. There will be a tab for symbols like that to put on the exam.
Yes.
It's where that equations tab is.
Let's do it right now, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm recording, so it is already there, but let's do it again. So I go to your go to college algebra. You're going to see exam 1. It's not going to show you mock. Actually, you will see the mock exam or sample exam. I don't know what I called it. You're going to go to quizzes, and I think I made it available if I'm not totally mistaken. Sometime go home and play with it. Click it. You will basically. I'm previewing it. You will basically take it, start your quiz, and you're gonna right here. So what would you do? You're gonna go to this plus symbol, okay? You're gonna go to this plus symbol, and you're gonna go to equation. Most of the things we will do will be here. Then graphical equation. And if you want to enter something like this, remember we talked about cube root. What's the cube root of 27? 3 times 3 times 3. Yeah, you have you have all sorts of ways of doing it. So then, of course, this is not relevant to my question. I'm aware of it. I'm just answering, your question. Again, equation, graphical equation, you can write it down, leave it, and you should also, you want to say, let's say you want to put phi right here. Let's say you want to put pi right here. Let's say you want to put infinity. I don't think we're going to use pi here too much, but insert, are we all here? Does that answer your question, Jack?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
So it's all here. And if you forget, the video is here. And if you forget, just write down plus equation. Everything will be there. I am not a huge fan of multiple choice questions, but if I give you some, you know how to answer. All right, guys, if we don't have any questions, let's see where we are. We're going to start our lecture. I think we finished 28. I'll be more specific. I looked at the video. I think we left off at 28. We were talking about polynomials. Okay, we have a few more to go actually. I'll do a few more. Okay, so we're going to start. What's our plan today, guys? We're going to work on some of the problems, and we are going to work on the next chapter. We should be able to finish the next chapter. If not, no worries. And let's see what I have assigned here. This is on Blaze View 9 through 82. It's a little repetitive. Okay, we did 28. Let's try a couple here. Basically, it's FOIL. All right, let's try 48. Let's try 48. This is P as in pencil 4, number 48. Okay, this power 2 simply means I'm going to rewrite it as follows. Just write it twice. And then the rest is nothing new. We're going to FOIL it. And how do we FOIL it, guys? First terms, when you multiply them, you're going to get 25 times x squared, sorry, x to the power 4. Oh, let's do it nicely. All right, then you're going to do, outside terms. 3 times 5, or 3 times negative, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15 x squared. Then we do FOI, inside term. Just a way to keep it straight. If you do those 4 pairs, you're in good shape. And I'm getting 15 x squared. And the last terms are generally the easiest. Plus negative 3 times negative 3 is plus 9. Then you have to combine the like terms. Let's change the color. Come back to our black. 25 x to the 4 minus 15x squared, and minus 15x squared is 30x squared plus 9. That's your answer. Now I show things with colors. Of course, you don't have to. If you want to skip a couple of steps and jump to this, you can do things in your head. Be my guest. I'm going to pause a little bit so that you can kind of go through the steps and see if you want to ask a question. Okay, guys, let's see what else is coming up. Let's try a couple of these. Okay, they look a little ugly. I'm gonna try one, okay? And I know you guys won't like it, but it's okay. I'm gonna try number 58, okay? And bear with me, it's gonna look a little ugly. And ugly things are, I like ugly things for exams. Okay. So I'm gonna foil it, but foil will have to take place twice. I'll tell you what I mean by this. 2x. Okay, let me, and you know, guys, let me try, now that's fine. 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3 and 2x minus 3. Okay. If I foil, now you have to tell me, I'm not going to write first term. This is what's going to happen. Do it on your own. 4x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 9. I just did the first two using FOIL. That's what I got. I'm going to leave the third one alone. Okay, right here, the one on the left-hand side, right here, I am going to compress it like you would. 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. That's a little better. Okay, this, what I'm going to do now is foiling. Really, what we are doing, guys, is I'm going to take this. Let's change the color. I'm going to take this multiplied by the whole thing. Okay. And let me see if I can nicely write it below very carefully. I'm going to do it like this. 2x times 4x squared is 8x cubed. 4 times 2 is 8. X squared times x is x cubed. Then minus 12 times 2 is 24. And x squared. X times x is x squared. And the last one is not that bad, 18x. Okay, let's try this one. Now I'm going to take this guy, 3 or negative 3 really, multiplied by the whole thing, like before. Let me see. Okay, I like to do it in the bottom. Okay, so negative 3 times 4x squared is going to be negative 12x squared. I make mistakes, so I'm going to check. Minus 12x squared. That sounds about right. Negative 3 times negative 12 is going to be positive 36x. Negative 3 times 9 is negative 27. Okay, again, the green part comes from negative 3 multiplied by this big mess. The red part, pink part, comes from 2x multiplied by the big mess. Now I have to, excuse me, I have to combine the like terms. How do I do that? Well, that's why I wrote it kind of below it. It's kind of convenient. So I don't have, I'm going to go back to black. I don't have anything to worry about. I'm going to write 8x cubed negative 24. And let me double check here. 4 times 2. Oh, okay. 3 times 4 minus 12. That's about right. Negative 24x and negative 12x gives me negative 36x x squared. 18 and 36. Okay, let me just double check. I got 18 9 times 2. I got plus 36, yes. 18 plus 36x. I'm combining the like terms, and that gives me 4854x. and negative 27. That's your answer. Your answer must be written like this. So it's kind of going one step beyond the typical FOIL. I'm going to pause there a little bit for you to copy, process. If I made a mistake, to tell me. If this kicks us out, don't worry. Don't worry, I'll be here. In 3 minutes, that'll kick us out, but I'm going to pause there a little bit. It's a kind of a new thing, new example. All right, guys, we're going to continue this discussion. Let's come back to our next session. I'm jumping out. See you really soon. We're not finished. All right, guys. See you soon.